I'd like to ask Mr. Arturo Vargas, who is the National Executive Director for NALEO, if he would be so kind as to come up and just say a few words, and then we will continue on with the rest of the program.
Oh my gosh. Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for that introduction, and thank you all for being here for our session here on, I do know what I'm talking about, culturally based teaching and the importance of it. My name is Arturo Vargas, and the National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials is very happy to be part of the campaign for high school equity, joining with our sister organizations like the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Education Fund, LULAC, MALDEF, the NAACP, NCLR, the National Indian Education Association, the National Urban League, the Southeast Asian Resource Action Center, and the Alliance for Excellent Education. One of the things that makes it so special for NALEO to be part of this is just the historic nature of this coalition that has come together representing so many different communities, communities of color. And what we're doing at the core here is we're fighting for America's future. Make no mistake about it. If the people in our community, the children in our schools today, increasingly children who are brown and black and Asian and Native, do not receive the quality education that they deserve, that they are constitutionally entitled to, this country cannot succeed. We're coming together to fight for the future of America. We need to insist and make sure that every child receives the kind of education so that when they receive that high school diploma, it is meaningful. And they are prepared for life, for work, for college, whatever options they choose. But in fact, to ensure that they have options in life. And it's a fight for America's future. It is core to the work that NALEO is doing. At the core of our mission at the NALEO Educational Fund is ensuring the political participation of Latinos. We want to make sure that Latinos are able to participate in America's democracy so that newcomers to this country become citizens, that all citizens vote, and that those who really take upon the epitome of service to our country by running for office or serving an appointed office have the resource, the information, and the skills to be America's best public servants. And then we also have an office here in D.C. where we work on those issues about how we participate in our government. But in order to be effective participants in government, we also need to be able to access information and distill information and understand information. And education is the key to that. A democracy cannot succeed if its population is not educated. So as much as education is key to the economic success of this country, to the social success of this country, education is key to this democratic experiment we call the United States. So we're fighting for America's future. So as we discuss today the importance of culturally based teaching, we need to make sure that the children who our organizations represent, our constituencies, are getting the best teaching possible. That many of the people from our community enter the teaching field. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a high school teacher. But I ended up somehow working in a civil rights organization, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's sort of a good thing that I think what I'm doing. But just to share my story with you as to what some of the problems that we continue to confront in terms of getting folks into the teaching profession, I received a bachelor's and a master's. I did a master's teacher credentialing program at my university. I went to Stanford University, having grown up in inner city Los Angeles. And when I returned, I tried to get a job with LA Unified. And I thought, okay, here I have a BA and a master's from Stanford. I passed my California, basic education, whatever, CBEST at the time, the test. I did my student teaching. I'm ready to teach. I show up at LA Unified, and they were too busy hiring people on emergency credentials that when I showed up, which I thought was classroom ready, I fell through the cracks. They didn't know what to do with me. And finally, I was sent to a high school in East Los Angeles, and the principal wouldn't hire me because he just said I was too young. So, having been turned away by LA Unified as not being prepared to be a teacher in that school district, luckily, one of the campaign partners here, the National Council La Raza, had an opening as an education policy fellowship. And I was able to apply for that, and I came out here for DC for 3 years, and now have made my career in the nonprofit sector. I miss not being a teacher. I think I could have done something as a teacher, and I'm hoping that in the work that we do at NALEO, in partnership with our sister organizations here in this campaign for high school equity and in our discussion on culturally based teaching, that we are able to inspire young people to become teachers, and that nobody faces a situation where people are turned away simply because we think they're not prepared. It's critical to the work that we're doing. So I want to once again thank Michael and the panelists. I need to apologize that I won't be able to stay for the session. One of the reasons I'm able to be in Washington this week is that we're having our national conference, which will be starting tonight at the Renaissance Hotel. And we just have a few special guests showing up, including people like Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton in her first speech at the National Building Museum, a couple of her colleagues from the Senate, a senator from Illinois, Barack Obama, a senator from Arizona, John McCain. And so we have a couple of Secret Service walkthroughs this morning in preparation for that. But I think the fact that these members of the Senate and their colleagues and other members of Congress are spending time speaking to organizations like NALEO. They will be at LULAC in a couple of weeks here in D.C., and they will be at NCLR in mid-July in San Diego, speaks to the importance of the Latino vote in this election and the role of all of our communities in playing a part in the future of America. And one of the things we want to make sure that we communicate to Senators Obama and McCain when they're with us on Saturday is that education is about fighting for the future of America. And thank you for all that you're doing and in partnership with us. And I hope this morning turns out to be among the most productive we've done at the campaign. And I hope that if you're able to join us and register for the NALEO conference, that we can see you there in the next few days at the Renaissance Hotel. So thank you for being here this morning.